Welcome, citizens of Douglas County. Today is July 21st, 2025, and thank you for joining us for our work session of the Douglas County Board of Commissioners. This meeting will come to order. County Clerk, would you please take a roll for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner District 1, Henry Mitchell. Present. Commissioner District 2, Whitney Kenner Jones.
Present.
Commissioner District 3, Martin Raxton.
Present.
Commissioner District 4, Vice Chair Mark Alcaraz.
Present.
Chairman Dr. Ramona Jackson Jones.
Present. Thank you so much, Clerk. Madam Clerk, did we have anyone sign up for public comment today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Before I call you up, I will just remind you, you will have 3 minutes to address the board. Once your 3 minutes are up, we'll ask you to wrap up your comments. And when you reach the podium, please restate your name and your subject matter. So the first individual, Jackie Cooper.
I'm back.
Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Great.
Doing great.
Well, of course, I don't stand before you all. I'm not going to stand before you all long. I'm just back to reiterate the saving of the CSB and really wanting to. I don't know. I want to start crying because this place it holds a special place, not just for me, but the citizens of Douglas County. We're talking about making America great again. Let's make it great again for the citizens of Douglas County, because this CSB is needed for our mental health, for our adult disabled, for our displaced people that need housing, for our youth, for so many other different entities, and we're talking about not saving it. I keep hearing, oh, it's going to be on the taxpayers' back. Everything else is on our back. Why not save something that's going to be conducive and help our citizens? Everything else is on our back. I pay a lot of taxes. I've been in this county for 18 years. And I need to see for once, something to take place that's going to be good for this county, for our citizens. I've been out here doing a lot of things for a long time. I don't ask for no praise. You don't never see me. I don't competition for nothing. Everything I do is out of pocket. I don't ask anybody for anything. And when I have, I've been disappointed, so I stop asking. But now I'm standing before y'all asking y'all again. The state can't do it. The federal is not giving them the funding to do it anymore. I'm asking Douglas County to stand up, do something, make a difference. I watched y'all tell me, and I'm looking, I don't want to call names, but I watched y'all tell me y'all was going to help save this building. What y'all doing? It's just a vote. I'm one of those citizens that pay taxes, and I'm asking y'all to help. I'll help pay taxes for this. We're paying it for the sheriff's department and everything else. Everything else. I'm reading this paper about all this all this money folks want to be allocated to certain things, but we are not talking about saving things that's going to be important for the whole of the community. This ain't just one thing that the CSB service. This ain't just one entity. It's 22 on top of nonprofits. What we doing, Douglas County? I don't ask for much, but I'm asking you all to help save this. Don't keep telling me to go to my state representative. That's where the funding coming from. They ain't giving it to us anymore. I'm asking Douglas County to give it to us. Save this building. Save this building. Stop playing with the citizens, because we vote y'all in.
Thank you so much. We take this matter under advisement. Madam Clerk, do you have anyone else?
Our next individual, Kentrell Porch.
Morning, everyone. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Coming on behalf, like Ms. Jackie Cooper, in support of the Community Service Board, just asking that we do all that we can to save the Community Service Board Since I've been here in Douglasville the past 4 or 5 years now and become heavily involved with the Community Service Board, I've seen what they do, and they do what we all, I think, come to do, which is serve. And that is something I think we all hold wholeheartedly and hold close to our hearts, that we serve the least of these. And to see the impact that it's made on the young people, those who are disabled, those who do need help, those who do need housing, who do need medical care. As a mental health advocate myself, seeing how they've supported me in efforts that I've had, how I have supported them in the efforts that they have put in place, it serves a need to this community. And what we need, especially in the times that we are in, we need to serve those who need. Our young people, our old people, our disabled, our handicapped, our mentally challenged people. With so many things going on today, people need a place, they need an outlet. They need a place to get medications because they can't afford it. They need a place to see people when they can't get to a doctor, when they can't get to a therapist, when they can't get to a mental health facility. The Community Service Board serves that need. I've always been brought up to know that when there's a need, it gets addressed. For those who are in the positions to make those decisions, it falls on those who have been voted in by the community to serve the community, to do right by the community, put people first. And I think we have gotten away from that across the board. We have failed to put people first. Nothing works without people. We're always going to have those who need with us. It is a thing. It has always been said. There will always be those who need. So let's put the people first. Let's make the people a priority. Whatever our campaign speeches, our places that we go as we solicit votes during campaign season, during election season, let's put the people first. Let's not forget the people put us in positions. Not just elected officials, but in the community as well. As the work that we do in the community, it serves a need. We are in the need now because school is around the corner again. We have children who are in need. We have families who are in need. Let's do what we are called to do. Let's serve, because this present age needs service. And the Community Service Board provides a service to this community, and the impact that I have seen it have is something that I would champion for, stand up for, say it loud as I possibly can, that we need to save the Community Service Board. So I do believe in overcoming barriers, and there are solutions that can always be made. But let's put the people first. Let's put the community and put the people of Douglas County. Let's put them first. Let's do all we can to save the Community Service Board. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, we have anyone else?
Yes, ma'am. Our next individual, Michelle Calvo.
Great morning, Commissioners. For the sake of time, I brought some notes. So my name is Michelle Calvo, and I'm here today not to argue politics, but to stand on transparency and justice. We believe in leadership that serves people, not power. We voted for you all to help carry our burdens, and now we're asking you to vote for us with your actions, decisions, and integrity. And I'm here on behalf of CSB, advocating for CSB. Like others, we have partnerships with CSB. We've seen the difference. We did a gospel fest this year for the children that was left behind on the first of the year. And as Jackie said, we are community advocates. We stand up. We have children. We've been a part of this community. We see what CSB is doing for the people. So we have some questions to ask you all, because our community deserves answers. Where is the financial transparency report for the last 2 to 3 years? Can we get that report? Can you show us where the previous surplus funds were allocated and how much remains today? What decisions or projects were prioritized over mental health and community services in the last 24 months? Has there been any internal audit or review of wasteful or duplicate spending in non-critical areas? What have you done specifically as a commissioner to fight against these state-level funding cuts? Are you lobbying your state and federal counterparts on our behalf, or just asking us to do it while you remain silent? If federal funds are being cut, how are we preparing to innovate and bring in new local revenue or support systems? Are there any plans in place for public-private partnerships or grants that can help restore the services we're losing? We didn't come here today to follow leaders. We came to stand for justice inside leadership. You all were elected, and I know faces because I was there advocating for you all. I was there doing phoning campaigning, doing whatever it takes for those who we hire in these seats to fight for us, not to fight against us. This is not about the aesthetics of Douglas County. This is not about making the outside look good, but the cup is full of dead men bones. We're allocating, giving the Douglas County Sheriff Department over half of our budget. We're doing that with our tax dollars. They have $4.6 million allocated to an outsourced program, only catering to 800 residents, when we're asking for the same amount of budget to service over 10,000 residents. Let's do the math. The math is mathing. They don't have specialties. The county will tell you, when we go to many of their meetings, they don't care about politics. They're here to fight crime. Put the money into the people who put in the work, who specialize in what they do, to make sure that mental health do not go ignored. Because if this county loses 10,000 residents, then what's going to happen when they have to police these residents? Because they cannot get out and go somewhere else because transportation is an issue. Thank you all. Have a great day.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll certainly take this matter under advisement. Madam Clerk, we have anyone else?
Yes, we have one more individual,
Okay.
Kenneth Riddick.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to come before you this morning.
Good morning.
I am Kenneth Sober Scooter Reddick II, a 3-time suicide survivor, a man that's standing before you with over 3 years of sobriety now. I have an organization focused on mental health and self-care in our community. I have to refer people to the CSB that may not have insurance. There may be folks that I find out on the streets, because I'm not only an advocate, I'm an activist. I'm out here with the people. So I don't stand before you just as in defense of CSB as a brick and mortar, but I stand before you for the people that need to be served here in Douglas County. I hear a lot of talk about who makes the decisions, but one of the things that's always said is we show up to the big events, but we don't show up locally. So I'm showing up locally because I know that being in the mental health field for over 20 years, having been a pharmaceutical rep, but also now as a peer leader, not only in the Douglas County community, but as I stood on the steps at the Capitol last week, not just for mental health, but also for our children in the community that are served by the CSB. There's enough damage that's being done globally that's already going to take a lot of programming services that are going to have a lot of disruption for our kids, our families, and overall. I don't know where the money can come from. I don't know what can be done. But I know one thing. We cannot lose the CSB as a resource to keep our community safe. I always say that we're working on mending, healing, but a lot of people don't put in the part about feeling the difference. When we make decisions, do we think about truly what that's going to feel like? The impact that it's truly going to have on our families and on our community as a whole. So this is beyond the testimony. This is beyond the fellowship at the Community Service Board. This is directly impacting me, my family, and the people of Douglas County. So please, whatever you can do, however we can make it happen. And if something doesn't happen, please make sure that we have some type of a transition or some type of plan in place for the people. Because that's what we're here for, the people. And I'm a person that suffered and had lived experiences. And as my shirt says, mental health is not a diagnosis, but mental health can be a challenge. And without the CSB, we're going to have many more challenges here in Douglas County. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We certainly will take this matter under advisement. Madam Clerk, you said we
That
have
was
no
it.
further comments, okay? Again, thank you everyone for coming in, sharing your views this morning, and certainly we will take this matter under advisement. Board of Commissioners, next we'll move to the agenda adoption. Commissioners, are there any changes that need to be made to the agenda? I didn't hear, okay. If none, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
To move. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion, board? We have a motion and a second. Please prepare to cast your electronic votes. No, please prepare to write, if you agree for approval, please indicate by raising your right hand. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote and the motion carries. Thank you so much. Board of Commissioners, please be mindful that we have 3 minutes to make remarks and 2 minutes for rebuttal this morning as we manage our time. Approval of the minutes. Next on our agenda are the meeting minutes. Commissioners, please review those minutes before tomorrow's meeting. Financial report. Board of Commissioners, be prepared to adopt the financial budget report for the month of June in tomorrow's meeting as well. Also, we have, Madam Clerk, you have the floor.
Okay. We will have a proclamation tomorrow proclaiming the month of July 2025 as Uterine Fibroid Awareness Month in Douglas County, and Tanika Gray Valbrun will be reading that proclamation. We'll move to our grants, which is number 6 on the agenda. Authorization to accept the fiscal year 26 Accountability Court Operating Grant from the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, which is AWACFP 26,454,125, in the amount of $112,203 with a match of $19,801 to be funded by the department's existing budget for the DUI drug court program. Established to establish the budget and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Teresa Gordy.
Good morning. This is our fiscal year 26 operating grant award. It'll be used to fund treatment services, surveillance in the community, and drug testing.
Okay, thank you. Teresa, any questions for Ms. Gordy? All right.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am. We'll move to business items, number 7. Approval of a statement of work with Language Line Services, Inc. for interpretation and translation services for juvenile court on an as-needed basis to be funded by the juvenile court budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Debbie McDonald.
Good morning.
morning.
So we're just asking for this legal line for if our interpreters are not available. Sometimes we have like a detention hearing that comes up quickly, and the interpreters might not be available, so this is just a backup for our interpreters.
Okay, any questions from the board? Commissioner Raxton, you have the floor.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
So is this a new service that's being provided, or is this existing provider that is, we're looking to continue the services that they currently provide?
So I know there's other departments in the county that have the legal line. I know magistrate court does, and I think the DA's office does as well. It's a new service to juvenile court,
Okay.
but it's not a new service to the county.
Okay. And then my last question is there a funding cap? Is there a level where we're saying that we will not exceed X amount?
It's in our budget for our interpreters. I don't know that we have a budget cap, but we do have funds in our available budget for our interpreters.
Okay. It'll just be good to know what is that cap, what is that top level? And, if you don't know it now, you just,
Yeah, I don't know what
email
that
it
would
or
be,
just
but
share it later.
I know that we do budget for our interpreters because we have to have them, on a regular basis in the court hearings.
Okay. All right. It'll be just good to know what is that level.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, any other questions, board? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 8, Approval for Douglas County Sheriff's Office to renew an agreement with Doron Precision Systems, Inc. for the period of 8/1/2025 through 7/31/2026 for maintenance costs, including parts, labor, and travel costs associated with the driving simulation system in the amount of $11,268 to be funded by the Sheriff's Office budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Lieutenant Colonel Pounds.
Good morning. This is just the annual contract for Doron to work on the driving simulator system. So if we got any kind of preventive maintenance problems or any issues with the driving simulator, they come out and take care of that.
Okay. Any questions, board? All right. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel.
Okay. We'll move to number 9. Approval for Douglas County Sheriff's Office to renew an agreement with Senior Chaplain Edwin Ford in the amount of $40,000 for a period of 1 year, beginning July 2025 through July 2026, to be funded by the Sheriff's Office existing budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents. Lieutenant Colonel Pounds.
Okay, so this is again just a new renewal of the contract for Dr. Ford, who offers spiritual services for us, any employee. He's the liaison between the Sheriff's Office and the church community. Also provides spiritual services for the inmates.
Okay. Any questions, board? All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, number 10, approval of a contract with Culligan of Carrollton Water in the amount of $150 per month for 12 months to be funded by the district attorney's existing budget for bottleless water ice machine, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Laura Thompson.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, we are getting rid of the bottles and just going to a machine that gives water and ice. It's just a contract that we didn't have before.
Okay. Any questions for Laura? Okay. Commissioner Baxton, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good morning. It's probably more of a comment, but I'm just curious if there are other county departments that are also looking at doing something similar.
I think so. I think we were kind of the trial
Okay.
guinea pigs on this because it is much easier because it doesn't take up any space. It's just a very small, and you just hold your hands, and it's wonderful. So.
Okay. Yeah, be
And
curious.
it's not costing me any more than, not much more. I think it was $145 for the bottles, and this is $150. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if there are some synergies that if we could utilize this throughout other county departments, that we may see
And I
some
do
cost
think the
reductions
gentleman
and
that I was
savings.
talking with, Mr. Cameron, I think he has reached out to several different departments in the county.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be great to see if
Yeah.
there is some cost savings across multiple departments there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
All
good
right,
day.
thank you.
All right, Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Commissioner Raxton. Madam Clerk, you have the
Okay.
floor.
Number 11, approval of a contract renewal with Benchmark Management to extend until December 31st, 2025, and approval of change order number 1 to Benchmark Management in the amount of $6,700 for environmental study to be funded by the Office of Planning and Budget Water Sewer Infrastructure Grant Program, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Jill Hobson.
Good morning, Board and County Administration. We are nearing completion of our water sewer infrastructure project. We have a small change order of $6,700 to complete one final environmental study, and just need to extend the contract on our design team. They will be completing that environmental study, but we are nearing completion of this project and are asking for the board to approve these 2 items.
Okay. Any questions for our manager, Hobson? Commissioner Raxton, you have the floor.
All right, thank you. So I just want to get clarification. Is the extension to December 31st, 25 or 26?
I noticed that typo this morning. It is until 2025.
Okay.
And we have already corrected it, sent it to legal, and we'll update your packet as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just noticed on page 2 it said December 2026.
Yes, sir. I noticed it this morning as well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Chair, I yield the floor back over to you.
Okay. Any other questions, board? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Number 12, approval of change order number 1 for UES for the Fairburn Road Senior Center new build project for special inspections in the amount of $60,000 to be funded by 2022 SPOS funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Julia Jenka.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, County Administration. This is regarding the Fairburn Road Senior Center new building structure. This project, as many of you are aware of, has been a challenge to get started. Douglas County sits on a huge rock field, and we have basically spent the last 3 months digging through rock over at this site. Unfortunately, during the nature of the project and the proximity to the road and the proximity to the existing senior center, we cannot traditionally excavate rock in what would I say a quick and easy fashion, which basically you blow it out of the ground. And we're having to drill, hammer, and otherwise dig it out. Right now, this change order is to represent the special inspection side of the house. Caliber One has been doing the work. We put some contingency in the budget for when we set up the contract for about almost $500,000. We have essentially blown through that contingency going through the rock, trying to move the rock. UES is the special inspections. What they do is they have to quantify, qualify, and validate what is coming out of the ground and what needs to be moved. They're the ones who bring in the structural engineers. They quantify the amount of rock, and what they're doing is this part here, and I actually have to make a request, is that I need to change the amount from $60,000 to $70,000. I received a change order, I received notification Friday afternoon that we have to have a structural engineer come out and monitor the impact of this week's effort for vibrating the building. And they come out and they do a structural analysis of the existing senior center, and then turn around after the vibrations and the excavation of the rock coming up these next 2 weeks to also post rock what was the impact, if there was any damage or any structural impact to that building. We've also sent out a notification to the citizens within the area that this is going to be extremely vibrating, potentially impactful feeling in their homes. We sent that notification out this morning to notify the citizens, but what I'm asking for is $70,000 to cover the cost of UES's portion of the rock removal in terms of quantifying, qualifying, and then the amount of soil to go back in, making sure that structurally we are sound and moving forward. Now, keep one thing in mind. This is a multi-part grant for this project. It's CDBG, ARPA, and SPLOST, so it takes a very coordinated effort to be able to make sure that we're covered. A SPLOST portion for the overall project so far is right around $1 million, including this. But however, we're hoping at the end of the next 2 weeks that we should be able to move forward from the rock.
Okay, any questions for Director Jenka? Any questions? Commissioner Kenner Jones, you have the floor.
So if we've already blown through the contingency fund, what is the plan if something else comes up?
If something else comes up, ma'am, I'll have to come back to the board. We have money in the budget. A part of the Parks and Rec's overall $22 million allocated budget out of SPLOST has not been fully expanded. In fact, they've only obligated and committed, bear with me, a little over 9.5 of the $22 million. However, so there is funds still available. It's just at what that needs to look like, and B, we'll have to kind of manage it case by case. But we're trying to just do our best to get through this.
Are there any other areas that you think, I guess on the front end, that we need to be preparing for possible change orders down the road?
We are not anticipating any at this time. We just have to get through the rock. They were getting ready. They started pouring concrete last week for the footers, which is really good. But this is on the northeast side of the building. It's that last little part, and it's for the water lines. And then they'll be doing some additional drilling on the parking lot over the next 2 weeks. We just finally got Georgia Power to move their line, the telephone lines, and reposition that so we could be able to proceed with finalizing on the south end side.
And this is, I guess, just for background knowledge, but is there a reason why we went with the option, or the prior board went with the option to build a new facility as opposed to renovating the existing facility?
The cost, from what I understanding, the cost to renovate was far more expensive than the cost to build new.
Even with the $500,000 contingency now being gone, it would have still been more than that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions,
Yes,
board?
yes.
Commissioner Mitchell?
Just one. You spoke about the vibration for the area. What's the zone? What's the area that when the blasting potentially, what's that area looks like?
It's part of senior, it's off of senior circle, and it affects senior circle, Hospital Way, and shoot.
Because surrounding that area is
Is,
mainly
the
commercial,
residential.
with the
There's a-
residential on the outer skirts, because pretty much that's
The
commercial.
Senior center sits
So
here.
here, right.
On the, if you're looking at it from Fairburn Road,
Mhm.
the right side is residential, behind it is commercial.
Right.
To the left is somewhat open, and there's some
Right.
commercial, but it's mostly impacting the residents on the right side, off of Senior Circle / Portland.
Got it, right, because going around that little curve to a degree, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
got it. Because I was just trying to see from a residential side of things, what would be affected to include the commercial is still a part of it. I was just
Right.
more.
That's why we did the public service announcement by putting out a notification to the public this morning.
Got it, okay,
We want to
okay.
give them a heads up.
And I know you can't guarantee, but right now it looks as though they've gotten far enough to move along with sewer or water and sewer and any, I mean, are we close enough or it, and I know we
This
can't.
last piece is water.
Okay.
For the water mains connecting to the back, coming in on the back side, I mean, the north end side of the building. We've pretty much addressed the storm drains. We've pretty much addressed the septic system. It's
Okay.
just, I mean, the
Sewer.
sewer lines.
Yeah.
And we're getting down to the last 2 weeks of what I would say heavy drilling and rock removal.
Got it.
They're anticipating at the end of the next 2 weeks to be finished with that piece or wrapping it up.
Mhm.
So at that point, they can really focus on the actual construction of the building.
Right.
However, we have been trying as much as possible to do parallel efforts, and that's why they were able to start the footings last week.
Got it. So now you're putting in some footing to kind of get starting in the
Found-
direction of building something.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Yay.
Okay, 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 all right, thank you. And we kind of knew that it exists, but didn't know how bad until you start getting into it, I guess, so.
And unfortunately, this is really, it's just a really unplanned. We knew there was rock.
Yes.
But $500,000 worth of rock, we had no idea.
I know.
And I think part of it is just because of this proximity to another building is impacted the normal extrication of
Right.
rock. Normally, you just come in, you blow it out, and
Right,
we're done. But this part, we have to be aware that that wasn't an option.
right. Understood, understood. Okay, thank you very much. I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Chair, you have the floor.
How much boring did we do before we started this project?
I don't know the exact number of borings they did, but I know one of the challenges is the type of rock we encountered. It was deeper, and it was more, I'm not a geologist, so I can't tell you exactly, but basically, the rock we went through initially is one that can kind of be hammered out, but then we discovered in the course of this, there was this heavier, more dense, more resistant granite-like rock that we had to come back and drill it out so we could hammer it out and make it like Swiss cheese to be able to start breaking it up to remove it in several sections. So this was unforeseen even in our level. It was because the top drill, you do the boring down and you're thinking, it's okay, it's not so bad, we'll be able to get through it. And then when we started trying to get through it, we had to actually bring in a special drill and Swiss cheese multiple areas.
Okay, all right, I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other questions, board? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Director Jenkins.
Okay. Number 13, approval of landscaping agreement with Carter Landscaping and More LLC in the amount of $2,092.50 for pine straw installation at the E911 building to be funded by the 2025 E911 budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Katrina,
It's
I'm
me.
sorry, can you restate your name?
Deputy Director Amanda Strickland. Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Board of Commissioners, and County Administration. This is just a request for the approval of our pine straw installation with Carter Landscaping. The pine straw is to help with rainwater runoff and erosion control around the building.
Okay, any questions, board? Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Deputy Director, thank you.
Thank you. Number 14, approval of a contract renewal with Malden and Jenkins, excuse me, for 2024 auditing services in the amount of $93,000 to be funded through general appropriations or general fund, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Anthony Choice.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Board of Commissioners, County Administration. I come before you today seeking your approval to renew the contract for, this is renewal number 1 for the contract with Malden and Jenkins for auditing services. The solicitation was placed last year, and we're just asking to renew that contract for another year, and seeking your approval as well to see if we can do an automatic renewal and not have to come back next year, just sign the contract for the consecutive years. The audit services was for fiscal years 23 through 27, so we do have the option of several other more years of contract renewals. So this is just renewal number 1.
Okay, any questions, board? Commissioner Raxton, you have the floor.
All right, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
So just to confirm, we currently are locked into, or we have a 5-year agreement with the vendor. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if we wanted to get out, let's say after year 1, do we
Yes, sir.
have opportunity to look at that?
Yes, sir, we do. In the contract itself, so all of our contracts, the original contract itself does give us the option of renewals as well as termination.
Okay.
So we do have the option to terminate.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I think the next question may be for our CFO.
Okay.
Next question is, are all of our audits currently up to date and completed to where they should be on the schedule from the vendor?
No, we're currently doing 2024 audit.
Okay, so are they on schedule with what contractually we've agreed with the vendor for the 2024 audit?
I would say so, but I'm not sure I understand your question.
Okay, so
In other words, the vendor is in compliance with the contract, but our 2024 audit should have been completed sooner. That's not out of the vendor's fault, if that's what you're asking me.
okay, so I guess I'm asking, is the vendor in compliance? Are they delivering the services that we have, or that we have a contractual obligation with
They
the
are.
vendor?
They are.
And with that, that's what the question was in regards to, have they completed all of the auditing requirements as put in the contract, as stated in the contract, for the services? And you said 23 is completed, and I guess 24 is still ongoing, but they are not completed with 24.
Correct.
Okay, but should they have been completed with 24 at this point?
No, like I indicated earlier, that's not out of a fault of theirs. The county was behind a couple of years audit,
Okay.
and they are working according to how fast they get the resources, and they are working according to schedule.
Okay. So based on your expertise, would you say, has there been any performance issues with this particular vendor?
No. No performance issues with the vendor. You said the vendor, right?
Yes.
None.
All right. Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other questions, board? Commissioner Kenna Jones, you have the floor.
I just have one question. So you said that our audits are behind multiple years, or they had previously been behind?
They were previously behind. We're getting caught up now.
And why were they behind?
Oh. The position of the CFO wasn't filled for a while. There was high turnover on the staffing in the department. And so what happens when you have those kind of challenges, even though the audit is due, the auditor has resources allotted for your county up to a certain point in time. We have a calendar year, they have multiple clients with fiscal years, and they move resources until you have availability of personnel and information that they require, then they come back to your county. We had experience like that in the 23 audit that extended it, so there was kind of a challenge from both sides. When we had resources, they wouldn't have resources because we didn't have what they needed when they could allot resources. That extended the audit. There were technical issues with requiring some reprogramming of our assets management, the way they were reported in the past. Just normal things that needed to be fixed in the financial system.
Has there been any penalties or adverse actions taken against the county for the audits being out of compliance?
There were, I believe, for 23, there was a suspension of grants until we were in compliance. Both federal, well, state, I know, local as well, and probably some federal. And after we were in compliance, they lifted the moratorium.
And so nothing is suspended right now?
I'm not 100% sure for 24. Did we get something? Local? State?
Can you?
Can you elaborate, please?
Come on up. Jill.
Now, for the record, those suspensions are only temporary.
Yes.
So once we're in compliance, we get the funds.
You were saying something for 2024 or 2023 is currently suspended from the state?
Our 2023 reimbursements have come in. So the state has resolved that. We are now on hold from 2024 reimbursement request.
How much?
I don't know the number off the top of my head. I can get that for you, though, and email it to you.
How many departments are impacted?
It's mainly your Criminal Justice Coordinating Council grants. So you're talking 265, 238, 234, 3 departments?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 departments. We are able to continue services. We just are not able to get our reimbursement.
And so what, I guess, policy or procedure is finance putting in place to make sure that this doesn't happen again? And I get not having a CFO and having high turnover, but it seems to me we find the money and the resources to pay for things in departments and places when we need to or want to. So why would we not have moved heaven and earth to ensure that our departments receive reimbursements timely and so that the county is not ever non-compliant with an audit?
Well, the budget just got allocated for personnel in 2024. Then we have, competitive market in filling those positions. So I'm not, it's actually outside of the department's control in terms of
what is the
maintaining
plan
the
then, I
required
guess,
people.
what is the plan so that this does not continue to be an ongoing issue?
Well, the plan would be to keep the department fully staffed with experienced, competent personnel and to fund it. And so I'll continue to ask for that. If the budget is approved to fund the department at the level that is needed, we will have the resources and be able to keep them if the salary is competitive. All those factors need to be in place.
And how far out of compliance are we for the 2024 budget?
The budget is usually, the audit.
I'm sorry, I meant
The
audit. Thank you.
Yeah. It's usually due 6 months after the end of the year. So that puts it June, yeah, with a couple of months.
And how quickly can we get, or are you expecting that that's going to be resolved?
The target is for end of August.
And how many departments, I guess, information are you still waiting on to complete the audit?
None at this moment.
So you have everything you need, it's just a matter of processing it with the company, with the vendor?
Correct. Now, that August is not firm, because we cannot control when they do the audit, when they review the financials, if they come back and require additional tests, that can shift a little bit. I do know that they're working vigorously to try and conclude by end of August, because now they have to shift resources again to other municipalities that have fiscal year June.
Madam Chair, I yield back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Commissioner Kenna Jones, any other questions, board? Commissioner Raxton, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. So I would like to have a representative from the audit firm to be here tomorrow to answer some questions, because I'm not getting a sense that they are on the same timeline as the end of August to complete the audit. So I need to hear some assurances from them that they are partnering with us and that this true relationship is one that's going to allow us to get back on target for 2024 and not have these grants held up.
I will ask for that. With such a short notice, I want to go on record that can't guarantee they will have somebody available, but I will ask them.
Okay, that'd be greatly appreciated. And
Sir?
if they can't come, then I may ask the board maybe to consider deferring this item until we get, some additional insights and questions answered.
Okay, so you're talking about approving this?
Yes.
They've already commenced work for 24 in order for us to be able to conclude it. And this was part of the original bid when the contracts went out. Everybody tendered with the understanding that it was a 3-year contract. Automatic renewal clause just wasn't there when the board approved it. It should have been. So on the basis of that, I'm actually in the process of waiting for this to pass so that we can sign all the documents and pay them outstanding bills. They've already done a few months' work, and I think, well, we may have to have discussions outside of this, but I would strongly not recommend that.
Okay. Well, I guess I want to get a better understanding that it looks like if they've commenced work for 2024, we are approving the 2024 contract or the 2025 contract. What is this request to approve? What is this timeline, this contract renewal? Is it for 2024 audit or 2025 audit?
24. And because we have, when they submitted, when they were approved for solicitation like everybody else that submitted, it was a 3-year contract. And I think the board's policy is automatic renewal or comeback, so you have an option to cancel it. They proceeded with doing the work in order to get us caught up on the schedule of 6 months after year end. So they've done substantive work in order to be targeted in August. But nothing is guaranteed. That was the point I was making. It's out of neither person's fault. I wouldn't want us to do that. As a matter of fact, I'm sure they're watching this here and now, and they reserve the option to just pull their people out of the audit, which then means we won't have an audit till December.
Okay, again, I would like to ask to have a representative from there tomorrow.
I will tell them.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay,
May I
thank
ask
you.
one last question? Quick, clear.
You have the floor, Commissioner Kenna Jones.
I guess I'm just thinking back to the answer about the resources. So if we were short-staffed, did finance not seek out temporary contractors or anything? Or I guess what efforts were made on the department's behalf or through administration to try and procure appropriate resources or personnel so that we would not be so far out of compliance? Because I get human resources process takes a long time, interviewing people, getting somebody, but there are plenty of qualified individuals that could do things like this on a contractual basis until that position's filled. So what were you all doing if you knew there was not appropriate staffing?
That's a very good question. We considered outside professional help, looked at temporary agencies, in some cases brought in resource because, just to try them out. If they didn't work out, then it was on the basis of temporary agency. But the cost of doing that was way beyond our budget. In order to get the professional level resources. And regardless of an individual's qualifications and background, there's still a transitional time that's required when you bring them onto a different system. But yeah, the cost was also way beyond our budget.
I yield back, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Kenneth Jones. Any other questions, board? Okay, CFO, how long have you been here? You haven't been here that long, have you?
Madam Chair, about a year and a couple of months.
Okay.
3 months, year and maybe 3 or 4 months, yeah.
So quite a bit of this precedes you.
Right, and a deputy just got hired in January. Controller got hired around December, September. That's just how fresh the new bodies are. And then you got a couple of key positions that never existed that we try to fill.
And 23 is clean. You have a clean audit for 23. Is that done? I believe that's what you shared with me.
Yes, Madam Chair, 23 is done, and we're in the process of finishing 24.
24. And you all said it's looking good, but you do have a couple of outliers or some divisions that we won't name here that's causing a problem. It's not related to just our administrative portion.
Right.
There's other areas that you're still trying to get information, and we will be making some recommendations, and I know you will, to the board regarding some things we can do to go forward to make sure that those outliers are able to provide accounting information to allow us to move quickly, because some of the things that are holding us up are not related to the administrative divisions board is other areas, and we'll talk about those at another point.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay.
May I utilize this opportunity to just make a general comment about the department? The personnel, most of the ones that are currently there now, are very mindful of your concerns. And so the level of dedication from them as civil servants is something I don't talk about enough. They're working through lunch, long hours, over the weekend as well. So anything that's going to slow down the progress, and again, like I said, very competitive salaries out there. They don't, unless people really were committed and dedicated to what they were doing, they don't have to, because there's competition elsewhere that doesn't demand this level of commitment and hard work. That's very obvious to me. So I'd encourage that we keep recognizing that. The other part of it is the system we currently have is no longer supported, New World. So you're asking the same limited resources, not just in accounting, payroll, etc., to gear up for implementation of a new financial system. So you're talking that long hours just now started. So they're juggling that and juggling getting caught up with 2 years audits. Again, if we delay it, the auditors will also pull their resources. I just wanted to go on record to bring that to your attention.
Okay. Any other questions, board? All right. Madam Clerk?
Number 15, approval of an agreement with Georgia Municipal Association, Inc. for telecommunications and right-of-way management in the amount of $11,000 to be funded through the unincorporated fund appropriations, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Dominique O'Shea.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, County Administration. Part of our core function, not just safeguarding resources and saving cost, is to make sure we're maximizing revenue collection and looking for alternative revenue sources, especially in these times. And Georgia Municipal Association, we're asking you to, please approve this agreement. They specialize in the consultation, monitoring, management, and oversight of right-of-way, of franchise fees, and other major agreements. They have, management that can assist us with the oversight, contract negotiations, just various alternative revenue sources other than property taxes. As we speak, some of our towers at E911, Director Haley has indicated to me there are some interesting parties there. I believe we also have some interesting parties for installation of tower at Parks and Recreation as well. So it will be very advantageous to bring GMA on board. They are doing some good work for other municipalities around here, including a very big county, very close to us as well. So this is their area of specialty, and sometimes they collaborate with ACCG to do this kind of work.
Okay. Any questions, board? Commissioner Kenneth Jones, you have the floor.
Who is managing these things currently?
Commissioner Jones, could you please repeat that?
I'm sorry. So is this a new contract, new services for telecommunications and right-of-way management?
That's correct.
Who with the county is currently managing those items?
Nobody, really. Now, the collection of franchise fees goes to DOT. So I did work with Commissioner Rana Suleiman, and also worked with James Worthington. We interviewed these people. Currently now, nobody's really doing the kind of service GMA can provide. They just get a franchise fees payment come in, or if somebody wants a permit, but we're not having the level of oversight and compliance requirement with new state laws and making sure we're not being cheated. They do all that for this cost.
Do we have concerns right now that we're losing revenue in those areas?
I do. That's why I vigorously pursued this avenue, because I'm aware of the kind of benefits that this kind of organization can bring in.
Do you have an estimate or a presumed revenue amount that we should be looking for if we're going to spend this $11,000?
I don't, but I can tell you one thing. Because we were going out for this kind of service, one company came in and brought us a volunteer check for $9,000. Okay, so that's already paid almost for 1 year of this service. Like I said, we also
So they knew they were out of compliance and didn't want to get caught, so came and brought the cash.
Probably. Then we have people ready to negotiate at Parks, tower that I think for years, if I'm at Parks here, I think I heard about 100,000 just for that. Then we have some potential revenue sources as well at E911.
When you say revenue services through 911, what do you mean?
Revenue sources, potential, by leasing our towers there and making sure we negotiate properly. We also currently have one or two that may be paying franchise fees.
Director Harley,
that
come
may
up.
not be in compliance with it.
Sorry about that. See, I was just trying to get her attention.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Board of Commissioners, County Administration. So yes, when I was first hired as 911 Director, our radio systems administrator and I went on a tour of our radio towers that are part of our public safety radio network. One of the things that was identified was that we had room on many of those towers that could host other businesses, in particular cellular phone companies. And so that is a potential revenue stream for Douglas County. Through my research, what I have found is that there is a market value that these cellular companies pay potentially to the county, and it is definitely a revenue source that we potentially need to explore, as I came before you back in November to request additional funding for our radio system. And so it would allow us to be able to potentially offset some of those costs that the county is currently paying for the maintenance of those radio towers. There's a different level of what we can place on those towers, because we do have to consider that with some of the towers, we own the towers, but someone else may own the land. But some of those towers, we own both the tower and the land. And so that is a potential revenue source for the county that we can explore. And other counties are also doing this and have been for years. And so this opens up potentially a revenue source for us as well.
Thank you, Director Harley.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I yield back.
Okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Braxton, you have the floor.
All right. Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Director Harley. That was very insightful and informative, so thank you. I guess just with the GMA, do we have references, and I know that CFO referenced other municipalities that are currently utilizing their services, and I would love to just get an idea of what has been the benefit with GMA being a part of those municipalities, and what has been the uptick, with working with GMA specifically.
Yes, sir. One of those in particular is Cobb County. I went for counties instead of the municipalities. And so in talking with the assistant, I want to say she's the assistant attorney on staff at Cobb County. She talked about the benefits of how Cobb County has actually taken advantage of the revenue stream that is available. Because of the lack of knowledge from the staff, GMA specializes in this particular, their TRM part specializes in this particular project. So Cobb County, and there are several other counties that I can send you guys if you'd like, that are actually a part of this TRM program as well through GMA.
Okay, that would be helpful.
Yes, sir.
And then I guess the only other thing I would ask is, or just maybe get some insight, so what can those funds be utilized for that are collected? What specific line items can those funds go towards?
For most part, probably not to balance general fund expenses, like Director Haley just indicated. That department is a separate fund, and that will probably be utilized over there. If it's franchise fees in the unincorporated, then it will go towards the unincorporated budget. Now, we probably have to have some more review or legal to opine on others as to if they can be used to balance the budget. But yeah, I just gave you the general ones that are, self-explanatory.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, thank you. Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Braxton. Commissioner Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am. So to be clear, these funds either are enterprise funds or not, or that's going to be a legal question as to kind of where these funds would end up in what bucket, I guess what we're alluding to.
Correct. Commissioner Mitchell, it will be driven by boundary. It will be driven by state law if it's
Right.
franchise fees. And then the right-of-ways can vary if it's an unincorporated area. So it's kind of not clear-cut at this
Right,
point
right.
in time.
Right. And I'm only saying it out loud
Yes.
so we can kind of understand that
Understand.
there's still some work that needs to be done to
Right.
kind of make sure where you're going to place these funds in what bucket.
Correct.
Okay. And that's all I'm just trying to make
Yes,
it so we can kind of understand that these are just not funds you just kind of it's a great additional stream of income.
Yes.
However, you still got to make sure that you're applying them where law allows you to apply these funds.
Correct.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And one other question. So the $11,000, is that an annual fund, monthly fund? What is that $11,000 for GMA?
That's annual.
Oh, that's
And at-
annual, okay.
And at the moment, that's coming out of unincorporated budget.
Okay.
James Weddington.
Mhm.
Now, should we seek their support for something outside of the contract, that's also their area of specialty.
Mhm.
Because I think that the proposal that's in front of y'all outlines what the 11 covers. But if there's anything above and beyond that,
So there
it
could
might
be some
different.
additional fund that will have to go toward this, depending upon the scope of work.
Correct.
Okay.
But the scope that's in the agreement you have, which I
It's
believe
specific.
adequately spells out, and it's something we need right away based on some pending proposals that I just mentioned to you all. It would be good to have them on board. It would be good to also have them on board to review the current agreement that we have
Correct.
that I believe is not in state compliance, and we could be getting more revenue out of it.
Right, but would that be an additional
That part won't
thousand?
be additional.
Okay, so that, what you're talking about trying to cover, $11,000 would cover, not the additional potential outliners,
Correct.
okay? And again, I'm only just trying to, so for the record, that we can kind of say these things because I just really want to make sure that we clearly understand that, you know, this is a unique potential revenue stream. It's just not a general fund budget revenue stream.
Correct.
Okay. Am I on point here? Just help me.
You are on point.
Okay.
But because it also helps those non-general fund departments, as we get better at allocating overhead and indirect cost, those departments can foot their own portions of it.
Yes.
Without hesitation, we can say, hey, your cost of overhead for insurance is this much. You
Right.
got to pay it. For software, for IS, et cetera.
Right.
Right now, those things are not quite happening at the level they should because some of those departments are kind of not even self-sustaining in terms of their funding source.
Right. Understood. So this is enough money to kind of get you where you want to go for now.
Correct.
And I guess we'll explore the the other potentials as we get through GMA as of this level.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. I yield back.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Mitchell. Any other questions forward? Certainly wanted just to add that the county administrator has certainly tasked the cabinet with identifying revenue streams unrelated to property tax and sales tax as we deal with this moment, and also certainly wanted to make sure that we were aware that the county administrator is also making sure that we are doubling down on every possible expense we can, and he and the team are working very hard. So I just wanted to put that out there, that they're working very hard. And again, I want to thank Commissioner Kenner Jones as she continued to do some things creative with our tax abatement team, and certainly Commissioner Mitchell and Commissioner Raxton as they continue to govern the purse for the county. So with that being said, Madam Clerk, do you have anything else?
Okay. Move on to item number 16. Approval to accept as a ground ambulance provider for Medicare and Medicaid services a 2026 interim upper payment limit amount of $56,661 for patient transports and pay the intergovernmental transfer amount of $19,242 to the Georgia Department of Community Health to be funded by the Fire Department, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Chief Allen.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, Commissioners, County Administration.
Once again, we're asking for approval to accept this monies from the ground ambulance provider for our UPL.
Any questions, board? Okay. All right. Madam Clerk?
Okay, number 17 is approval to pay All Safe Industries $101,148.55 for a required piece of equipment for the hazmat team at Fire Station Number 9 to be funded by the Fire Department's 2022 SPLOST funds, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Chief Allen.
So we're asking for approval for this piece of equipment. This is basically a chemical gas analyzer that we're looking to purchase for our hazmat team. It's a vital piece of equipment. This piece of equipment has the ability, it's a 3-in-1, has the ability to look at a library of 39,000 different chemicals. And so it's something that we're looking at purchasing.
Okay. Any questions, board? Chief, could you just elaborate on those 39 chemicals? You said 39,000 chemicals?
It has the ability to go through a library of over 39,000
Wow.
different chemicals for spectral analysis during an emergency. The confidence factor on this is pretty high, so when we go out to these emergencies, the results they'll come back a lot quicker than our normal processes and resources.
Right, thank you. Very impressive. All right.
Okay.
Madam Clerk?
Number 18 is approval to enter into a professional services agreement with AJ Rim and Associates, Inc. in the amount of $50,000 for the implementation of Douglas County Artificial Intelligence policy and training to be funded by the IT department's budget, and authorize the chairman to sign all related documents pending final legal review. Elliot Buggs.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, County Administration. This is for the approval to enter into a professional agreement plan with Agent Rivers and Associates in order to create a cybersecurity an AI policy and training to go along with our cybersecurity program. It's coming out of our budget. They're pretty much going to help us create a training program so we can train people on how to properly use AI and be added to our insurance policy for cybersecurity.
Okay. Any questions, board?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Raxton,
All
you
right.
have the floor.
All right, thank you. So tell me a little bit more about the proposal. Did this go out to a bid, and what was kind of our parameters for putting together a request for potentially going into an agreement?
So it wasn't put out for bid. We did some research on different companies that provide this specific type of training and policies being written for us, and but it wasn't put out for a bid or anything like that. No.
It was not?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to have maybe Director of Purchasing Procurement Director Joyce just to confirm is, just from a compliance standpoint, are we in compliance if this did not go out to bid? As we're looking at a contract of about $50K.
Sorry, sir, I was.
Yes. Yes, yes, in regards to, are we in compliance with this particular professional services agreement not going out to bid?
With this one from the AJ Reams and Associates?
Correct.
Yes, sir, we are. It is a professional service. I have shared with Interim Director Buggs that, well, staff anyway, that we actually can place this under the professional services contract or license, if you will, and that will actually allow us to put it into the county's process without having to go through the bid process.
Okay, so we're good.
We are in compliance to answer the questions.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Director Joyce. All right. So I guess one of the other things or items, why did we choose this particular vendor? Let's talk
This
about
vendor
that.
here has been known, and he's very qualified for it. He's worked with multiple different companies in other counties and doing this kind of policy. He worked with North Carolina Department of Health. He has been with other big businesses, as in stuff like Verizon and State Farm. It created the same kind of policy for them also.
Mm-hmm. So does this vendor have particular expertise working with governmental entities
Right,
and
yes, sir.
agencies?
He has 35 years experience and expertise working with governments. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And so we have references and referrals even from local governments here
Yes,
within
sir.
the state of Georgia?
Yes, sir. I can't tell off the top of my head, but I can get them to you. Yes, sir.
Okay, that'll be great. And then, I guess, are they going to help us to create a policy and strategy for Douglas County government? Because right now, I've not heard of, or we've not talked about, what is our AI strategy?
So right now, we don't have one, so we create one from scratch. We have a security policy and strategy, but not one for AI. They're two totally different realms. So we're gonna create it from scratch, and we're gonna create it and train our staff up to train our other staff members on the uses of AI.
Okay, so this organization is going to help us to create the strategy.
Yes.
Once the strategy has been approved, then go out and implement training based on the strategy that the county
That's
government
correct.
has put in place?
That's correct.
All right. Has there been any other task force or any other discussions prior to bringing this vendor on, just to say these are the services that we want you to include as far as your scope?
Yes, sir. We had some kickoffs, and he pretty much took our skeleton bones and made it for us. It's going to be particularly for Douglas County. So where we work for Cobb, and I work for Douglas. So wherever we want for our scope is going to work for us.
Okay. All right. Well, I see now that you have uploaded some additional documentation, so I'm going to need to go through that and review that, and
Okay.
I'll do that today
Yes, sir.
before I can have any other questions.
Okay.
All right. Madam Chair, I yield the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner Braxton. Any other questions for Commissioner Mitchell?
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. So is this $50,000, I'm assuming rebuilding or building an AI type training for staff and others? Is that kind of what I'm hearing? That's what we're actually going to implement, Elliot? Is that's kind of
Yes,
where
sir.
we're going with this?
So the $50,000 is not just it's for a total package.
Right,
So
okay.
you're gonna get the training. First off, you're gonna get the policy.
Okay.
You're gonna get the training for the staff.
Okay.
Then you're gonna get the training for my staff to train,
Right.
constantly keep training staff.
Right.
Also, it comes with an audit plan where we scan everything, make sure how we're gonna use it on our network.
Right.
And also it provides with an enterprise AI, not open source like ChatGPT, where it can scan everything.
Right.
We're gonna get our own internal enterprise AI, where we just have like a Microsoft AI policy
Right.
implemented on our network only, that type of thing.
Good. And you're saying all the right thing, because that's kind of where I was going with this, to kind of make sure you're trying to tailor make this for Douglas County,
Douglas County, yes,
by looking at and following other resources from where these guys have actually done
Yes,
this
sir.
type of an AI policy training and all that kind of
Yes,
good
sir.
stuff. Because you're not reinventing the wheel. I mean, it doesn't make sense to reinvent the wheel. You just take what they've done and improve upon it versus trying to build it, what I call from scratch, and trying
Yes, sir.
to, but if that's where you're going, then I think this is great. Is this 50,000, is that a one-time annual cost, or this is just a one-time?
It's a one-time annual cost.
Okay.
But every time we upgrade it, like we had the upgrade the policy, of course we had to go back to them for upgrade fees, probably the next 4 or 5 years or whatever. But
Right.
it's not gonna be $50,000. It'll be the actual wherever we're upgrading the
Got
actual
it.
policy.
So it'll kind of carve out where
Yes.
we're going with this potential AI. But would it also improve on what we already have in existence? Will you kind of tie
Yes, sir.
them both in together?
Yes, sir.
You
So
know?
that 50 grand is creating the policy gonna be Douglas County's. It's not gonna be their policy. It's gonna be our policy. So whenever we need to feel like we can upgrade it, then we contact them to help us upgrade that one portion of the policy.
Right.
But not no more of the audits, no more of the actual creating training, all that stuff. All the training stuff stays the same. It's just changing the verbiage and stuff in the policies.
And as we're upgrading, as we're improving upon whatever platform we are, is there a level of what these guys will charge us? You know, let's say this is the $50,000 tier, is it a $100,000 tier, or is it's a la carte to what we need and what we see kind of where you gonna take us, Elliot?
Right. It's
Okay.
a la carte for us right now.
Okay.
So there's not one like a gold platinum
Right.
policy on level like that. No, this is a policy just for us. So it's not. It was not 3 different levels. If that's the question you're asking. Yes.
And so this company you're talking about, kind of sort of they're just in the AI training and or security business.
Yes, sir.
And they just have seen the hackers and everybody else do what they do and how to, because there's no way to stop them all. There's no
Right.
way that technology will constantly change and you'll be constantly trying to upgrade and upgrade.
Right.
Are these guys that far in advance trying to stay ahead of that?
They are. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because it's not just for just the computer systems, also for the cell phones and everything.
Yes.
It covers every platform that we have. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Because you get infiltrated, from our clouds, from our hardware, from our cell phones, and
Yes, sir.
so on and so forth. And I'm just hoping that these guys are kind of ready for that type of, or they're already doing this type of an approach.
They are,
and
yes, sir.
especially with Cobb, I guess you're saying.
Yes, sir. They are.
And have you had a chance to kind of investigate Cobb's structure to say, hey, this does look like something that we can kind of.
I have, but I wouldn't want to talk about it in the open forum right now.
Understood. No,
Yes.
I don't want you to. I don't want. Yeah. But you have
Yes,
kind of
sir.
eyeball and see kind of how that looks.
Yes, sir.
And
So
then
I'm pretty much trying to mirror ours to the Cobbs and the Fulton County things like that. Yes, sir.
Understood. Are these guys anywhere close to or playing around with Fulton County and any other outside of Cobb in the state of Georgia?
That I don't know. I have to find out for you.
Okay.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
that portion.
All right, Elliot. Thank you. Appreciate it. I yield, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much, Commissioner. Any other questions, board? Okay. Commissioner Kenneth Jones, as you attended a conference in Washington about a month ago, and AI was certainly on the radar and discussion in the room. So if you could just explain to the board and also the citizens why AI is important at this time that we have a policy in place.
It is definitely super important from not just a governance perspective, but we want to make sure that any citizen or constituent that interfaces with Douglas County government has sufficient assurances that their information is going to be protected. But we also, from an ethical and a responsible standpoint, need to make sure that we're keeping and maintaining adequate records. I'm just going through the packet that they put together, and the initiatives and deliverables that they included in here are exactly what the federal government said that we need to be looking at in terms of our governance framework, what the policy is for our internal and our external partners, because we don't want to be in a situation where we've partnered with individuals who also have access to our community's information and that they're not upholding the highest standards of security at the same time. I also think this is exactly on par with what Madam Chair says all the time in terms of making sure that we have future-proofed our ability to continue to communicate and give us a framework to work in, especially with the number of data centers that will be accessing county networks and information. So we also want to make sure that our cybersecurity can account for that. And then I know Philadelphia's 911 system is a really good example of how critical it is to have an AI policy and a cybersecurity policy, because hackers were able to completely shut down any ability for them to have first responder communications. And so you'll be able to work with Director Harley and her team, as well as other public safety, through this policy to ensure that that doesn't happen in Douglas County. So I appreciate all your work. Thank you.
All right, if there are no more questions, thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day.
Madam Clerk.
Okay, last on our agenda is the approval of expenses. We'll just need to approve those tomorrow for Commissioner Kenner Jones, reimbursable expenses in the amount of $1,045 for a legislative conference.
Okay. Board of Commissioners, do you have any further comments or anything you would like to add before I tap the shoulders of our attorney? Okay. Certainly, before we go any further, wanted to acknowledge that Commissioner Martin Raxton has completed his certification. He is now a certified commissioner. So let's give him a hand.
Thank you.
Any remarks, Commissioner, about your experience?
Well, I would certainly say that taking the 9 core courses through ACCG, through the Carl Vinson Institute with the University of Georgia has been very rewarding. And that's why we ask some of the questions that we do now. That's why we ask and bring forth some of the input and information that we're gaining through the courses. So I want to do it as quickly as possible to come up to speed as possible. So completing the core certification was a goal of mine to do, and I want to do that as quick as possible. Now I'm taking specialty courses, and we'll continue to do that in other areas related to county governance and ensuring that we're doing the absolute very best for our community and residents. So again, it's an honor to serve. It's a privilege to be at the table. And thank you, Madam Chair, and the rest of my Board of Commissioners for the insights and information and knowledge that you continue to pour into me as well. Madam Chair, thank you, and I yield the floor back to you.
All right. All right, with that being said, if there are no more remarks from the board, I will ask our county attorney, do we need to go into executive session for litigation, personnel, real estate, and cybersecurity?
Good morning, and yes, Madam Chair, we will need to go into executive session, so we will need a motion to do so.
Okay. Board of Commissioners, do we have a motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation, personnel, real estate, and cybersecurity?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second on the floor. Any discussion, board? We have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. We have a 5-0 unanimous vote, and the motion carries to go into executive session. Citizens of Douglas County, the Board of Commissioners, and I will take a slight pause for the calls to go into executive session, and we will return momentarily. Thank you for your patience.